Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Linda J. Hansen, your host of the Prosperity 101 podcast, where we seek to unleash the power of employers to reclaim and preserve America by connecting boardroom to breakroom and policy to paycheck. Employers educating employees about public policy issues that affect their jobs can lead to greater employee loyalty, engagement, and retention, and to an increased awareness of the blessings and responsibilities of living in a free society. We help people understand the foundations of true prosperity, the policies of prosperity, and how to protect prosperity by becoming informed, involved, and impactful. To access our podcast library and resources, or to sign our Employers Unleashed pledge, visit prosperity101.com. Thank you so much for joining with me today. It is always just a pleasure and honor to have you join in the audience, and I thank you for tuning in by audio or video. We appreciate your attention and appreciate the time you're taking to listen. You have a lot of choices for your media consumption, and thank you for making time for this podcast. Before I begin the interview, as I always do, I want to say thank you to our prosperity partners, the ones who give financially to help us keep this podcast on the air. If you would like to be a prosperity partner, please go to prosperity101.com and hit the prosperity partner link and help us with whatever you can afford, monthly or once in a while, whatever it is. If you like these podcasts, we'd appreciate your support. We also have some strategic partners. They are like-minded businesses and organizations who care about the freedom message. And when you support them, you help to support us. Please see their links on our website and in the show notes. And now I'd like to introduce my guest, Dr. Laszlo Bodi. I recently met Laszlo at the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce Expo. Immediately connected, one, because he's from Hungary, and we have a daughter-in-law from Hungary. And so there was instant interest, but also it was very clear his love for people, his relationship with the Lord, and his successful business and his worldwide international sales business. It's just very interesting to me. And as we recorded this episode, it just became longer than usual. So I actually ask, yeah, I ask you, audience, please stick with it. You'll be so glad you did. I did not want to interrupt him at all, and his story is so unique and interesting, and I really think it will bless you as you hear his story. If you've had ups and downs in your businesses, if you've had ups and downs in your life, if you have met times in your life where you just didn't really know which way to turn or what to do, like we all have had, I think this episode will really speak to you. And also, if you are interested in, really improving your business and how to be better in business and what you can do, I mean, he has that. And honestly, if you would like to do international business, make sure you stay towards the end and find out how to contact him. But this is really a unique episode, and I hope you'll stick with it for the whole time. But thank you so much for tuning in. And now I'd like to introduce you again to Dr. Laszlo Bodi, who is a global sales strategist and CEO at Reform Business. He's based in Hungary, travels worldwide, but actually just has a beautiful heart for people. And I know that you'll appreciate his story. So thank you for tuning in and enjoy the episode.
Welcome and thank you very much. I'm very excited on one side, and I'm very thankful that I got this opportunity. I want to say to all listeners that thank you for my English. I speak 6 different languages. The English is not the strongest one. It's in the fourth in the row, but it's a pleasure and it's a fantastic thing that I came here to this expo to Orlando. I got the opportunity to speak with you. Yes, as you mentioned, from Hungary to the American visitors or followers of this podcast.
Well, and your English is great. It is actually better
I'm
than,
working on that.
yes, it's actually better than a lot of Americans. So I appreciate it. You have very good English, and I know the audience will really have no trouble understanding you until you speak in Hungarian or some other language. So,
Right.
but I thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were born, and what led you to where you are today.
Thank you. So let's start in the beginning, who we are Hungarian, because we should understand it. I'm a child of the Hungarian nation here in this on the earth, on my journey on the earth. We Hungarian are originally a Euro-Asian nation. We came from Asia in the 9th century to Europe. And we are a fighter nation who was fighting for the freedom during the whole history. So this is the reason why we understand very good also the Americans from other side, this fight for the freedom, because this is what is in our heart somehow coded from the small childhood. We are speaking a lot about it. So this is totally similar to the US American soul. I was born on the other side in Czechoslovakia because, as you know from the history, Hungary, the Hungarian kingdom, lost the World War One. We were on the bad side, and we lost 2/3 of our country. These parts are now parts of current Slovakia, Romania, Serbia, Croatia, Austria. So from 50 million Hungarian worldwide, we can say that 5 million are living abroad in new countries. They were established after the World War One. So I was born in Czechoslovakia like a Hungarian minority. My father was very proud Hungarian. The brother of my grandfather was fighting in the World War One. In the World War Two in the Hungarian army. So I was growing up with feeling we should understand who we are, where are you coming from, and what is your mission, what is your journey on this way. In the first step, I can say that I am coming from a Christian family. We are Protestants, but because for the 40 years in the Central Europe, the communism was the main dictatorship what was working. Especially my mother was growing up in a feeling that she was afraid to show that to other people. And my father is like an atheist, not interested in these things. But my grandmother was a very strong Christian, a Protestant. I was every summer during the holiday time a visitor of her small village. And she was praying with us as small children. She was singing us different things from the church, and I didn't understand why she doing that, but now I understand as a Christian who was waking up in November 2014, and I met Jesus in that time, that she was the person who was sent to my life during this life journey to understand that Jesus exists and to hear about him. It was very interesting because my grandmother led us to the church in the childhood, so I was also the part of the children's group. And I visited that. And on one day, our priest told to my parents, the little Laszlo would be a fantastic priest because he is full of passion and he could be fantastic. His communication skills are also very good. He's a funny guy. And he's a leader, so he can lead other people. And also my parents and me were said, no, his way is not that one. And somehow we took that or we pushed it on the side. Then my life was developing. I'm a football player originally in America called soccer. And my big dream was to be a famous football player. I was also a national player till 17 in my country. So I got the talent, but interesting, not the talent of be a good football player, but to be a good fighter. I was in the midfield, so I was fighting and running up and down from one goal to the other goal. So I learned in my life from the early childhood that if you want to go forward, you need to fight. Maybe connected to my soul and also to my Hungarian connection or Hungarian nation. And it was not easy in that time, especially in my teenager ages, to be Hungarian in the new Slovakia, what was established in 1993, because it was a very huge hate against us Hungarian in that time. We were growing up with the feeling you should not speak Hungarian on the street, shut up, Hungarians out from the country, and so on and so on. Because a new country as Slovakia fought for her rights in the European between the European states, and they were afraid that Hungary will say we want to take back our field and we want to connect it back to our country. So that was also very difficult for me in that time, and I was somehow an introverted guy who was very extrovert in the school and very funny, and he was every time the point ground point for the other guys and for the girls to speak about things loud. But on the other side, at home, I was more introverted. I was reading a lot, and I had a lot of questions. What is very interesting in my life when I watch or look back, that I had a lot of questions since my childhood. And these questions were very loud in me. Who I am, why I am here on this earth, why I was born in this body, why are these women and these men my parents, why I was born in Czechoslovakia as a Hungarian, why I was not born in Hungary. And all these questions were working in me in a small little child, but nobody answered me these questions. And I was seeking that in books. I love the books from the US American stories. So America was from the first beginning for me a very attractive country. And I was every time proud, and I said if I heard about America that I am partly American because I was born on 4th of July. What's funny, because I say every time whole America is celebrating with me. So this is why America is very close to my heart from my early childhood. And in 2004, when I went to the university, after the high school, I studied a very interesting combination. I am originally a German teacher, so German language teacher, because the communication skills and to learn language is for me a talent given by God. So if I want to learn a new language, it takes me usually 1.5 years to learn this language. I'm learning now, for example, Chinese. And after 3 months, I can understand a lot. So this is my talent, what I got from God, to learn languages very fast. And back to the story of the university, I went to study German language. The big dream of my father was to be a teacher, but his situation was a little bit complicated to understand. When the communists came to our country, they took everything from the people, so all the fields, all the forests. And my grandfather was a huge fighter who said, I don't want to give that to the state. This is my, and they killed him in 1963. So it was interesting because for long years we didn't know about it, that our grandfather was killed. My father was 60 years old and we celebrated the whole family together. And I had an uncle who was similar to me. I loved him too much. He was Uncle John. And who was also similar soul as me. He was traveling worldwide. He worked in Africa. He worked in different parts of Europe and so on. So he was a traveler as I am, and seeker of the answers for his questions. On that day of celebrity of my father, he said, "Okay, guys, let's sit down and let's talk about it. You are old enough to understand. I was the oldest son in the family, and I said my mother, I will never explain you that, but now you should understand our father was not a victim of situation what we explained you, but he was killed because and it shocked the whole family. My father said, no, that's not true, and he said, yeah, you should understand that he was killed. What was very interesting, because it started to work in me, and I understood that to stay for your rights and to stay for the right things, like Jesus says, it costs you sometimes your life, and it costs you sometimes your freedom and so on. But you should fight for that. You should fight for that because it's very important. And I will connect and jump a little bit forward. Why I can say now very open that I see that also in the world. God gave me the opportunity to travel worldwide. I'm also sailing. I'm a captain since 8 years. And a few years ago, we decided with friends to go to Seychelles Islands and to say, okay, let's see the paradise of the world. Everybody wants to see Seychelles Islands. We say that this is the most beautiful islands on the earth. And we went there to sail. And for me, the shocking moment when I came there and understood that God brought me there to teach me again something, because when we are traveling and when we are going through this journey of life, this is a school. When we are growing or going to this school with open eyes, we understand a lot of things. And we are shouting for the wisdom. That's very important, what Jesus said. And the Bible said in the Psalms that we should shout for the wisdom and understand what is happening around us. And long story short, you are on the Seychelles Islands. People are paying huge money for hotels, for food, everything what is sometimes unacceptable. You say, why I'm paying so much? And you see people in this paradise under the trees, addicted to drugs and so on. And I'm a sportsman, and if you are a sportsman, and especially you are coming from football, so in American soccer, you are growing up with different society groups, because football connects society groups from the highest level of society groups to the lowest ones. Yeah. For example, Brazil, yeah, these guys, they are the best football players in the world. They are coming from very poor families, very, very similar families. And you learn in this situation to speak to all kind of people, also to a homeless one from the street. Also, you can speak to people they are in political level, because football gives you, and the sports give you, this opportunity to learn their soul through the game, because we are playing together on this field. Football, I think, sometimes is similar to the life. You have a group of different people. They are fighting for one common goal. They need to help each other, and they need to understand each other and respect each other. So that was the most beautiful school what I got from my father in my childhood, that he sent that you should go to football and you should play football. My big dream was especially to be a famous player like a child. And I wanted to play Champions League, what is the highest level of the football in Europe. And I tell you the truth, I was praying for that later a lot. And I can tell now that I am playing Champions League, but in business. So that's beautiful, that I was praying in football for Champions League, and God gave me the opportunity to play that on the highest level in the business world. Because I'm traveling now with politicians with different delegations worldwide. I was last year with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Finance in India with the state plane. I was also in Japan, in China with ministers. And it's very interesting, because I am asking God every time if I'm sitting in an airplane, what I'm doing here. How did you bring me here? I'm coming from a middle class family. How could I achieve that? That is not my result. I know that you gave me that. And the most beautiful thing is that also in this society, he sends to me every time people, they are in struggle, they are fighting, they need Jesus. And in the end, between New Delhi and Taj Mahal, in a small bus, what brings us to visit the Taj Mahal, is sitting by me a lady from the government, who opens her heart and who tells me that she lost her baby. She's a Christian. She has destroyed the relationship now to Jesus. Why that happened? And Jesus gives me, through the Holy Spirit, tell her from the Bible this part, because this is my mission. And then I understand, oh my God, you sent me with two ministers, with the airplane of the government to India to help this woman who is struggling in her life and in her heart. So it's unbelievable what is happening around us. And it's unbelievable, I feel that also on my skins now, how God is using us worldwide. But such kind of examples, I can tell you a lot worldwide, because I love to live worldwide. And especially I say, thanks to God, I can say that I am at home everywhere. If you are walking with Jesus, you are at home everywhere. You can be in Japan, in Tokyo, somewhere in a little tea shop, and you can sit between Asian people, and you feel they are your brothers and sisters, because God sent them also to this earth, and He tries to wake them up also. But you can sit also in China, where the Christianity is
suppressed.
Yeah, suppressed. And you will understand also between these people that they need Jesus. You see in their eyes that they are sad, and their soul is not calm, because this is what Jesus said to us, that I will give you this calm feeling in your heart. And even if you are in struggle and if you are in problems, you will be calm because I am with you. And this is what I can say now. The most important thing what I learned in the last years, and I was living in a lot of countries. I was here in America in 2004 and 5 as a young student in a work and travel program. We worked in Georgia and Atlanta in different neighborhoods and lifeguards. It was amazing for me to be the whole day under the sun, to see beautiful girls in bikinis and to help the people to be safe in the water, to talk with US Americans, how they live, how they think. So it was amazing for my age, 21, 22. And when I came home, I understand, oh my God, I am worldwide at home. And I don't need to be afraid to travel to point B or point D. I studied German language on one side, but on the other side, parallel, I studied also physical education and sports. I'm a sportsman, and how I mentioned, the dream of my father was to be a teacher, but because his father was killed, he had no opportunity to study that, so he pushed me somehow or led me like his son. Oh, my son, this is the best and most interesting thing to work with children. It's a fun for the whole day. You will laugh together with them. You will teach them language and you will teach them to sports. So that was his dream. But God had other plans with me. And I understand also why he led me to language in combination with movement, with sports. Because if you are on a way with Jesus and he said, your body is the church of the Holy Spirit, we should understand also that we should take care about our body.
Mhm.
Because if you want to travel on one day to Osaka or to Japan, and in 2 months you want to be in America by business meeting, you need to be physically prepared for that. Because also the time change, also the traveling, it needs your body on one side. So, and especially the university explained me the Greek word kalokagati. They say kalokagati means that you are in balance with your soul. And this is very important in our journey, because I know that we had between the apostles, they had their injuries, they had their illnesses, but it was a plan of God to have that. Also, Paul is speaking about it, that he has something. He explained not to us what was that, but he was ill, and God used that for good things, because he explained, if you are weak, you are the strongest, because in this moment you are catching me and you are grabbing me and you believe on me, only in me and not in yourself. This is the second thing, what is the most difficult in my life for me, because a sportsman is growing up with a feeling, believe in yourself, trust in yourself. This is what you hear from your coaches, from your early childhood. Yeah, you need to be better like the other one. Let's make your training 100%ly, and you should believe in yourself. And it was for long years very difficult to understand for me that I should not believe in myself and in my talent and in my opportunities or in my brain, but I should give everything to God. Everything, every moment of my life, every part of my life, I should give to Jesus. And if someone now will ask, okay, why are you speaking about it? It's maybe only because you are reading the Bible. I will explain you why I can say that very open. My first business was a language school. I wrote 22 books, language books, to teach German language. So I was struggling and fighting with that for 4 years to write this books. And I had three language schools in three different cities on the Hungarian, Slovak, Austrian border, where three nations are connected on the border. And usually a lot of people are working, especially in Austria, because there is the highest level of economy between these three countries. And they are traveling back home every evening, every morning to the work to make money outside of their country and come back home. Maybe you know that also from here on the border of Canada and America, maybe some people are also traveling back and down to the job. Yeah, so it's similar there. And a lot of people wants to know German. So I opened my language school. We started to teach German language. I developed a new method. It's called Reform Deutsch. Reform means reform your thinking. This is how my business is all coming goes. Reform your business, reform business. So bring it in a new way, and this new way is the way of trusting God and trusting in His words. And back to the language school, I was fighting with my language school. it was the most strongest. They were the most strongest 7 years of my life. I tried it from left, from right. I made almost the same sales steps as I am do now. I contacted companies. I offered them my services. I was traveling to them. I showed how we are teaching. They said, "Oh, Mr. Bodi, that's fantastic," but they didn't pay for that. So I had 16 employees, but my company was like on a roller coaster going up and down, up and down, up and down. And I remember very good, I was living in a small town in Hungary in that town now. It was 2011, 12. And I was very often by water. I love water. I was born on 4th of July, so in summer. So I'm a summer guy and I love beach. I love the water. I love to swim. I love to sail. And the water is somehow a connection for me to be closer to God. So if I want to be alone, I'm seeking a water, maybe a river or maybe a lake, but I want to sit down there. Maybe I can explain also why. Water is so wonderful uh, thing in our life because on one side, it is against the thirsty. If you don't drink, you die. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think for 4 days, it is only given to us to be without water. After 4 days, we die. You can be much more longer hungry as thirsty. So this shows also to our body how important it is to get this fluid to us. What Jesus said also to the woman
At
from
the well.
Samaria, yeah, that I will give you a water and you will be no more thirsty. This
Mhm.
is also how he prepared his life, that the water is important for us. Second thing, the water is the biggest power on the earth. You can make fire, you can build a huge fire, but if the water is coming, everything stops.
Mhm.
This is why water I see that the biggest energy what we feel here on the human earth, and this is also the calmest energy, what can calm down our
Calm our
soul. How
spirit.
beautiful. One things, two things. As God, yeah, He
Yes.
can be a strong father, and He can be a father who loves us from His whole heart. And I was by the water very often. In that time, I was on my own way, in my on my dark way. I should explain that for long years I was struggling without Jesus. I didn't want to hear him. I knew that he's existing, but not in a real way. Was thinking that he's a legend or people are only speaking about him, but I couldn't explain what I felt. But the situation was that, but I was speaking to someone. Please, if you are here, help me. But I didn't know who. I was reading also Buddhistic books because if you are seeking something bigger. And even if I was originally officially a Christian guy, because in my childhood I visited the church, but later between the people, they were also not interested. I was traveling with a flow. Yeah, if they are not interested, I am also not interested. And I remember the time, it was 2017. I came home from a shop. My company was totally down, and I was crying on the street in the darkness. I put in my bag on the ground, and I started to shout to him, "Do you know what? If you want that I should be a poor man, I respect it. It's okay. I give up. I give up." But back to the story and to my darkness, in this bad way and way of flow, I made mistakes, and my mistake was one of the biggest sins because I was changing and changing girls almost daily. So I was thinking that I am a cool guy if I have the nicest girls on this earth and they are interested in me. Thanks to God, I have no problem to be attractive for women. And they came to me and they offered themselves, and I said, okay, I take it. Yeah, but the Bible says to us that this sin destroys you two times. One in your soul, and second also in your body. What it means, and I didn't understand it for long years now, I understand it because I'm reading a lot about it, what it makes to people and how it destroys it. On one side, I think these people, after number of partners, they cannot love more.
Mhm.
For them, people, girls or guys, if we are speaking about ladies or gentlemen, are only numbers, only numbers. And on the other way, they don't understand the difference. Our Hungarian language is beautiful because we have a lot of words for love. We have a lot of them. We have a love when you love someone, like your friend, like your child, and so on. And we have a word for that if you love someone like your partner.
Mhm.
We have two words for that. In English, we are using only the love. And I think these people don't understand also what is between the physical connection. So let's open say, what is the difference in sex between if you use only your body or if your body is and the whole situation is blessed by God and you show through your body to the other one how much you love him. Because sex was given to us especially to show to our partner, this is how much I love you. And usually these girls and guys, they are going on a way of evil, and I was also on the way of evil. They don't know the differences. They speak about it that they don't
Mhm.
know, but they only think about it. They are in illusion. These people are only using their bodies and destroying their souls, their heart.
Mhm.
And this was my sin, what I was walking through. And in November 2014, especially in that time, was that what I mentioned to this girl who was a miss of our region. Jesus came to me in an intimate moment and he said to me, if you will continue that, you will destroy yourself. And Linda, I heard that loud. I felt huge energy going through my body. I was for a moment between the stars and I felt that Jesus is speaking to me. I was falling down on the ground, naked. I started to cry. The girl was watching me, what's happened, and I said, he exists. And she said, who? Jesus, he was here. And she said, you are crazy. And I said, no, 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 no. Take your stuff. I need to finish that kind of life. He's told to me that I will destroy myself. And I feel that. I feel that. It was very interesting because my change was not from step one to step two. I tried to jump back because the evil told me in the calm, dark situations in my bed that you are not that who you are. You are a big Casanova who loves girls. Let's jump and let's go back and let's enjoy the life how you enjoy that. And I tried to do that. But every time when I went back to this situation, my soul, my Holy Spirit in the soul, what I got on that night from God was shouting, you cannot do that. You can't do that. Stop, 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 stop. And on one day in 2015, I changed the city also. I closed my language school and I rebuilt it to online language school. We were teaching for long years online via Skype. In that time, Skype is no more existing.
Mhm.
Worldwide, I had also English teachers. We had also customers from the USA, from Mexico, and we were teaching them German because they made business with Germans. And uh, I remember that in 2015, I went to the church after long, long years again. And I went in, I was staying in a room. Uh, a lot of people were coming, and I was looking around, and I see, so what I am doing here, I am a bad guy. What I am doing here, these people are so clean. What I am doing here, I didn't understand, and this is also very important for people. They are judging us.
Mhm.
Christian people are not saint. Christian people are people full of sin. They understood that, and they are holding their arms, their legs, and everything on Jesus and are shouting, please help us.
Mhm.
We are not better as other people.
Right.
Everybody is judging us. You are playing the saint one. No, I know who I am, and I hate this sin in myself, and I don't want to be like that. This is the difference between us.
Yes, if I could say too, we have a time limitation somewhat. So, but I think you are speaking to so many people. I didn't want to interrupt before because your story is so powerful. And I feel that there are so many people like you who have been in business, in education, whatever their vocation is or whatever their life is, and they've reached success or they've reached popularity, they've reached their goals, but they still feel empty. There's something missing. And while this interview was not we didn't really know which way it would go. I wanted you to be able to share your testimony, and we want to talk about your business, and I think it's just so important that people begin to see God cares about your business. He cares about your life. He cares about everything. And while this podcast and what I do with Prosperity 101 and things is really geared so much to help people understand how policy impacts paycheck, right? Well, how does God impact policy, impact paycheck as he works through us, right? How does God impact policies in our own life? Like I see him changing you. I see that he changed you. He changed my life. He changes lives. But
Right.
when you accept Jesus as your savior, your life is different. And you were looking at your business. You were crying on the street. Your business was failing. You said, Lord, if you want me to be poor, I'll be poor. If you don't want me to be poor, whatever it is. And I think that surrender is something that's incredible. And, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, we had met at the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce Expo. And so many stories are like this of people who came to a real crossroads in their life and in their business, and they didn't really know where else to go. And the wonderful thing about business is it affects every area of culture, and we interact with so many different people, and when we are loving Jesus and seeking to be obedient to him and loving others as he loves us, then we can love people in business. Like you met that lady in India, you were on a business trip. I mean, I've had those kind of experiences too, and this is
Right.
beautiful if we just make ourselves available. And so your life was really transformed, and now it was reformed really.
Right.
And now I'd like to, so audience, stick with us. I know this is a longer episode than usual, so I want you to just stick with us a little bit longer. But I want to make sure people understand what your business is now, even just briefly, and that they can contact you.
Right.
Maybe they want to contact you and talk about spiritual things because they're drawn to your story, and see they would love to be your friend, right?
Right.
But maybe they want to contact you for your business, and your journey is very unique. All of our journeys are, but I just did not want to interrupt at all because you were just sharing this beautiful history. And I think in America, so many of us in America, we don't see the bigger picture. We don't see the worldwide view. And because you're in so many different countries, you can see the impact of government policies on individual lives. And before, I don't want to cut short whatever it was you wanted to finish with in terms of your personal life, but I also want to make sure that people understand what your business is. But as you have traveled the world and what your family went through in Hungary, I'd like you to just share too what you think is important for Americans to understand now. This is one of the things that came up when we first met. When we first met, it was very clear you were concerned for the future of America and whether or not we would keep our system of government and our freedoms. And so I would like you to just go into that a little bit, all of that piece.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Yes. So only back to this 2017, I said to God, if you want that I should be a poor guy, I respect it. And as I mentioned, I had in that time my online language school with, in that time, maybe 8 employees. But you should understand that I was very poor. And that time I was going to the supermarket and I was watching in a store what I can buy and not. Sure, I was in illusion of myself also, and I was playing a game also to outside, and I didn't speak to people about it that I am struggling financially. Only few people knew about it, especially my mother and sister. They were praying for me at that time a lot because they were very afraid I was deep down. And on that night, I came home with my bag, totally calm feelings in my heart, and I said, okay, I give up. I respect it now that I will not be a successful man, even as a sportsman. So it was much more difficult for me because sportsmen are coded for success. And in 2 weeks, I was sitting at home in the living room and a cell phone was ringing. And I took it up and they said, hello, Mr. Bodi? Yes, we are contacting you from Germany. We got your number that you are an unbelievable salesman. I was laughing in my heart. Me, I'm struggling. I'm not a good salesman. But I didn't tell that aloud, but I felt that it's in my side. And they said, could you come to Munich? We will give you an apartment. We will give you an office. We will give you a car. We will give you a phone. Tell us what do you want to earn like a company owner, and also bring your people and help us to sell your products and services. And I rebuilt, reformed my whole language school. All my teachers, they have fantastic communication skills, got sales training. And I told them, you will no more sell the language knowledge, you will sell products and services of our customers. It's almost the same. And we started to sell the products and services of this company. And we made them in the first 3 months, 80,000 euro. And the door was opened. In few weeks, it contacted me a second German company, also from Munich, and we started to grow. And I couldn't understand what is happening around me. In a moment when I gave up on my own journey and my own mainstream, but I said, I will be successful, I will have my language school and so on, and worldwide, in every city of the world, even in New York, on the Wall Street and everything. God gave, no, 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 no. I give you something totally else. And he changed my business. I started to be a sales analyst. Sales analysis was every time part of my business, also in my language school. I analyzed every time the decision makers, the target groups, also which companies can be interesting. So I love Excel tables, I tell the truth. I love them, and especially statistics, yeah. But God introduced me, okay, but statistics are one thing and my way is the other thing. You can feel that the Chinese market is the best one for you, but I will bring you to the poorest country and you will be successful there. So this is his decision, because in the end, we are not doing business. Business is only part. Like Shakespeare said, the world is a huge theater. Business is only our theater where we are playing our life. But in the end, we have a mission. And this mission is what I understood in the airplane or in the bus in India, in the airplane between Budapest and Shanghai, when another lady sat down to me. We started to speak about the problems of the world. We ended by Jesus and what is Jesus saying us in the Bible. And after 3 months, she sent me a picture through WhatsApp that she's reading the New Testament, and she's seeking also the answers on her questions in the Bible, because she understood that all the books of the world are only illusion and they only think that they know what is here happening around them. But in the Bible, it's written that for us 2000 years long, what is the true, how this world was given to us by God. And now I can say we are working for a lot of companies. I was a mentor of Techstars, what is originally an American startup program, but for Techstars in Munich, where I helped a lot of German startups to expand outside. I was also a mentor of Disruptors AI. I worked as an external consultant for the Slovak government of finance. What is very interesting, in the 90s, I was hated like a Hungarian in Slovakia, and now the Slovak government of finance is using me as a Hungarian. and they're taking me together with them to the world, and how God changed also the heart of the people during these 30 years, and
Mhm.
how beautiful is how what kind of miracles he is doing. I'm selling the products and services of our customers in China. A few minutes ago, I was sitting with a lady in Budapest who is from the Chinese government, and we spoke about the airports of China. We want to sell them AI holographic systems from Slovakia.
Mm.
I worked for a company from San Francisco that I met in Munich, and they bought the services from us, Hungarian born in Slovakia, and they wanted a complete strategy to expand. So, for God, there are not rules where you should finish your job, where are the borders of your education or country. Let's take an example. I am originally a teacher of German language and physical education sports. Yeah, I studied since that time. Also, I studied in Germany for a while on the university. Then I took from Harvard Business School's education for global business, for organizational leadership, and I developing myself consciously, and I'm praying for wisdom. So this is what I do now, a little bit shorter.
Yeah. Well, that was great. Thank you so much for that. And so, audience, I hope you're still with us because typically the episodes are 25 to 30 minutes long, and this has gone quite a bit longer. And I really didn't want to break it up into two because I feel like your story has just been remarkable. And I think that was one of the things that when we first met and I started to hear your story and your heart and to hear your experiences and what you're doing in business across the world, I thought it's just something that would really be interesting to our audience. And so I appreciate so much that you came from Hungary to come to the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce Expo. And, you could have gone to any expo. You could have gone to any business expo. There so many opportunities to interact with business leaders and try to get sales leads and things across the borders. But you chose the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce Expo, which I'm sure is not the only thing you've done, but your commitment there really impressed me. And I think, too, when we work together in the body of Christ and we realize that our businesses are not there just for us. Our businesses are part of how we serve the Lord, and I see that with you. When we can create the wealth and share with others, we become blessed so we can be a blessing, and that's the goal of our businesses. And so, to anyone listening, there may have been something in Laszlo's story that stuck with you. Maybe you're struggling in business. Maybe you're having that roller coaster time where you're sitting down crying before God saying, I just give up. I give up. Maybe you're struggling with a sin in your life like he did before he finally gave it up to Jesus. Maybe you're struggling with grief or oppression from your government. I don't know who's hearing this, but whatever it is, you can hear from Laszlo that he found peace and just a real joy when he finally gave his life to Jesus. And I would say the same too. And I know that this is a business podcast, but we often talk about our relationship with Christ in this business podcast because our faith and our relationship with Jesus interacts with every single thing we do. And business interacts with every area of life. I talk often about the 7 mountains of culture, and business leaders interact with every mountain of culture. And so we have an opportunity, especially if we are Christian business leaders, to be able to be, hands and feet of Jesus, to be able to share the love of Jesus in the marketplace. People are hurting everywhere. And Jesus spoke in the marketplace more than anywhere else. And so many people will never go to a church. They don't open a Bible. But when we can touch them in the marketplace, because we just become friends with them, it's really a great mission. And, in the meantime, we work to do business excellently. And you've been extremely successful with your business. And you give all the glory to God for that because he changed your life around. And I just think it's an incredible story. But also, I love being able to have people understand people from other cultures, other countries. This podcast, what I do is so American focused. We can't be so American focused that we don't see the rest of the world. We don't see what's going on and understand what they see happening in America. So I, I I do want, before we close, I know you had some warnings for Americans, and I'd like you to share that. You were thinking of your concerns for America, and I'd like you to share that before we close.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I want to say to all Americans that I love and I appreciate. I learned a lot from Americans, especially in my early young ages, to think big. I love that in Americans to think big. And that was I learned in 2004 when I was here the first time. I'm coming from a small nation. It's important to us to learn from you that first of all, it's very important to understand that we are learning from each other. So travel around the world, listen to the people, listen how they live, try to understand the point of view of their life. And then you will also change like a person to every person who is coming to your life with a mission of God, especially. That's very important because not all souls are coming from God. That was told us in the Bible. But if you didn't open the Bible till now, open John 15:1-5, and this is his word to you who are struggling.
Yes,
So
that's
thank you.
yeah, that's great. And you had a government warning too, like a policy and political ideology thoughts too, which I know it could be a whole nother podcast, which is kind of where I thought we were going to talk. But I'm so glad we went this route. But you're very concerned about Americans possibly losing our system of government and our freedom because you've seen it happen in these other countries, and you see what happens when socialism and communism take over. Like you lost your grandfather to communists, they killed your grandfather, and life changed. And so, what would you tell Americans now about protecting their freedom? Because a strong America does make for a stronger world.
To America, I want to say only one thing, what we can learn also from our history, Hungarians, and also from the history of the world. If you know the history of Egypt, they were for almost 4,000 years leaders of this world. And where are they now? We Hungarian were in the 19th century the strongest kingdom in Europe. Everybody was watching us because we paid with gold. Gold was our paying or cash, let's say, and we were unbelievable rich in the country, even in some centuries stronger economically as the UN kingdom, United Kingdom, so England. The world can change very fast. In one century can happen this thing, and another century can happen this thing. Every generation is responsible for the next generation because huge mistakes can lead to destroyed power, to destroyed life. And this responsibility is on each of us and every person, and especially on the parents. They are responsible for the next generation. They are speaking to their children, they are leading their children. Because I think, as we Hungarians think, and this is why Europe hates us, that the future are our children. And this is the biggest position where we should be, or strongest position where we should be focused and strong enough.
That's just such good perspective. We are one generation away from losing our freedom. If we don't, who will? And so, employers and anyone listening, I encourage you not only to think about your own life and your relationship with God, but also what are you doing to protect your freedom? We can see around the world people struggling without freedom, and this is we have it on our responsibility. It's on our watch. So, employers, I beg of you, please speak to these things to your employees. Let them know you care about them, you love them, you desire for them to flourish and be free, whether they work for you or they don't. And this we change nations, we change families, we change individuals one person at a time, and through bringing truth and love. And that's what we do. We bring hope, and like you did to that woman in India, and I'm sure you have many, many others. So we can do that. And whether we serve him in the marketplace, or you're a stay-home mom, or a student, whatever it is, we can do that and make an impact on the world. So do you have anything else to say before we close? And I want to make sure before we close too, that people understand how they can contact you, and they may want to do business with you. There may be somebody listening who needs your services, being able to sell their products in companies overseas or wherever. I mean, wherever they're listening from, if they want to sell into the US or they want to sell into foreign countries, you can act as their, basically you represent them and go before them, and you do have a gift for sales. And so if anybody wants to contact you for that, how should they reach out to you?
So if someone is interested to sell his product and services in the US, in Canada, in Europe, in China, or in Japan, and he needs an external sales team for that, who has a Christian moral, that means we will not manipulate, but we will ask and we will build trust, then you can contact you through www.reformbusiness.com. The website is in six languages, so also in English. You can read all the information. We have also market analysis of different industries. They are available on our website. We have also our sales magazine in English. It calls www.sales-magazine.com, where we introduce monthly the current business news from the world, from the strongest markets of the world, where people can also learn which country is struggling and which country is growing. Where is it important or interesting for me to invest or to seek new customers? For the business people, they are on the way of Jesus Christ. We should understand that we should be examples through love, through understanding, and we should help people. They are struggling and they are afraid, because we don't know, but a lot of people, or most of the people on the earth, are afraid. Doesn't matter in which society they are. Sometimes a homeless man is much more proud or much more calm as a rich man who has everything in the world. So don't differentiate the people and don't judge them because of the money. Watch in their eyes and watch in their soul.
Very, very good. So, well, thank you so much. It's been a joy to hear your personal story and to learn about your business, but also as we realize, we're all in need of our Savior, but we all have our calling in life, whether it's business or whatever it is. We live out our lives and in hope to serve others. So, audience, if you have been blessed by this, I do hope you will reach out to Laszlo, reach out to me, and let us know. Let us know if this was a blessing to you. So thank you so much. And you can, again, audience, you can find him at reformbusiness.com. And also, I just want to make sure you go to prosperity101.com and please become a prosperity partner. Help us keep these podcasts on the air. But in addition to that, I'd like you to consider our pledge, our 3-point pledge, where you will talk about the opportunities and policies that we have in America that help protect our freedoms. So take that and look at our Employers Unleashed community, where every month we have a special webinar where we take a mountain of culture, whether it's business, family, education, media, arts and entertainment, government and military, or religion. We take a mountain of culture and just discuss what we can do as business leaders to positively impact that mountain of culture through our business, and little things that we can do every day in our business to make a positive impact on our culture. So please go to prosperity101.com for that, and please tune in to the next episode. So thank you so much for joining with us. Thank you, Laszlo.
God bless you.
Thank you again for tuning in to this episode of the Prosperity 101 podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share, and give us a great review. Don't forget to visit prosperity101.com to sign our Employers Unleashed pledge, to access our entire podcast library, or to discover resources for use in your workplace. Let us know how we can serve you. Contact us today at prosperity101.com.